Compliment of the season. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all my subscribers and everyone watching this video. My name is Tolu Seun. I'm a young Nigerian mom based in South Africa and I make content on relationship gist and all that. So if this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome! Kindly watch all my videos and please subscribe to my channel. Also turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I drop a video. I recently made a video on my Instagram page and it went boom. I didn't expect the result that I got from it. You know, I just woke up with a grateful heart that morning and I remembered some things that happened to me some years ago. And you know, that kind of a moment, you know, okay, I'm here again because of God's grace. So I just put few pictures together from when it happened and I posted it just to thank God. As at the time I'm making this video, it's about 4.2 million views, 202,000 likes and about 3,000 comments. I just want to clear the air, you know, on the assumptions some people are making. As regards that video, I got some DMs, I saw some comments, and I feel like I won't be able to answer everyone the way they drop the comments. It will be best if I just put everything in a detailed video as I am doing right now. So let me just take you back on the journey of how it all started. Maybe you will understand exactly where I'm coming from and what brought about that video. You know what? I'm going to play the video now. You all are going to see it in case you've not seen, so that you will understand when I'm sharing some things, you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from. Now, let me take you back to how it all started. I got married in 2015, you know, as newlyweds. Even prior to the wedding, you always have this plan of how many kids we want to have, you know, how long you're going to, places you want to be and all that. So those were our plans. But when we got married, we were living our life normal way as newlyweds. Everything was fine, going on well. Until a few months after I had my first daughter, and then few months after again, an unplanned pregnancy that led to my twins today. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it somewhere up so I don't bore you with my story, so that you can understand some things as well. But a few months after I found out I was pregnant with the twins, it's like someone just went away and just unlocked the key. And things that were going on fine started going sideways. Things that were working started going the other way, and you know, we started having challenges so much that it affected our house rent. You know, here in South Africa, you pay every bills monthly and everything is sorted monthly. Once anything other thing comes in unplanned, it affects you get to your budget. It affected us so much that, you know, the church had to step in and we had to move from our comfortable apartment to another apartment, not in the same estate but elsewhere. The environment was really nothing to write home about. I don't want it to sound like I'm an ingrate, but you know, when you know where you're coming from and then you move to a particular place, and the status at which we met the apartment that day was really was like, you know, like dumping, you know, where you dump refuse and all that. So we had to be the one to clean. It looks like the worst apartment in that estate, in the complex that we had to move to. But we had no option because things were not working at that moment, so we had to just accept the offer we had back then. So myself and my husband and my daughter, I was pregnant with the twins then, so we had to share one room. Cockroaches, bugs, all manner of things in that apartment. I'm sure a lot of people would even wonder why they were not seeing more of my pictures back then as a twin mom. But you wouldn't understand because the status I was back then was really nothing to put out there. Few months after, you know, we were there, I was always going for antenatal. You know, my husband kept on working, kept on doing everything he could possibly just for us to just leave that place and just go back to our normal lifestyle. At that same moment, guys, there's so many lessons I learned in those things that happened to us. And one of it now that I'm sharing is that be mindful of friends who in your tough moments, they look like they care. But the moment you have a sign of breakthrough, it's like they're not happy. I don't get it. I don't know why it happens, but those were part of the things we experienced back then. Friends that we're always jiving together, we're always relating, we're always together. If we are not in their house, they are in our house. We go to events together and all that. But when that thing happened, when that situation happened, they just stepped back. Some even offered me rags for my twins because they feel like, okay, she's suffering. And I turned it down. Me turning it down today has made me an enemy to such a person. So many things, guys, so many things happened. In a nutshell, friends that were there with us before, that we used to mingle together, at that same moment where when they stepped aside and they formed their own circle, and they just, like we were just ejected, out of that circle. So fast forward to during my antenatal. When I go for antenatal, doctors will complain that I was having BP, high BP and all that. And well, when I get home, every time I get home, I don't tell my husband because I didn't want him to worry. I wanted him to just focus on his work, we raising the money we want to raise, and just move out of that place. So anytime he goes to work, I would cry. Because I would just be like, what is all this? How can I come all the way from Nigeria to South Africa and I'm going through all this? And one thing about me is I'm not the type that tells people about, I'm going through this, because I've always been a tough girl from day one. Maybe in other videos, when I also share some other stories of what I've been through in the past as well, prior to marriage, you will also understand that, yes, God just allowed some things so that I can be stronger and to prepare me for some of the things that are yet to come. Doctors will complain about my BP. When I get home, I wouldn't tell my husband. I would just keep crying. I didn't know it was causing a lot of havoc to my body, to my health in general. My daughter was not even up to a year back then. I had my twins a few months after, and then when I had my twins in May, 2 weeks after, my first daughter clocked one as well. So I have all my kids in the same month. A lot of things. Like I said, I didn't want to really bore you guys, even though this video might be a little bit longer than expected, but a lot of things happened. A lot of things. There were people also came close to us then, and they will look like they care. And when you talk to them about something, they will ask you questions. And when you share your own opinion, they go back to our pastor to go and tell our pastor that, hey, these people are complaining, they are ingrates, they are this, they are that. So much that one of those people was so close to me that, it was a moment that I needed someone. I needed a friend. And I thought I found a friend. She was so close to me that we would pray together. When I have any dream, I would share with her, she would share with me. I didn't know she was going behind my back to tell my mom something else. She was going to people bad-mouthing me about things I did. And some people will be like, when they meet me, they'll be like, it's not the same lady that pretends that she's quiet. So she talks like this. I didn't even know things were going on behind me. I had my twins, like I said, and during the cesarean operation, because I had them through CS, during that surgery, my BP also skyrocketed. Like I was almost out, but God helped me, and I came out alive with them. Somehow, I don't know. It just looked like after I had the twins again, the enmity grew stronger. With some people, I felt like, okay, to an extent, they're there. And I started seeing more of people, like, so God will just allow some things to just happen to you so that you can see people for who they are. I feel like that place that we went to was like a retreat center for us. Like God used that moment of those moments, God used it to actually reveal people to us. We knew the people who we wanted in our life, the people who really we should let go. You understand? Like we should stop holding on to them. At that same moment, Fast forward to 2018, 2019, normal goal settings. Everybody has goal setting in the beginning of every year. And one of my goal settings was to lose weight because I had a lot of baby weight. Okay, lest I forget, we've actually moved from that apartment. We moved after 9 months staying in the apartment to a fairer one. So weight loss was part of my goal setting for that year. And I started with a diet and all that, and I started exercising, and I was seeing effective results, so much that people were even asking me, what were you using? What were you using? I'll share some of my pictures. Hopefully I get to see them in this video, and you will see I lost a lot of weight. Like, I lost a reasonable weight, and I loved myself so much. And then one Monday, it was a Monday morning, I just woke up and I was running my usual way for my morning jogging and all that like that, and then my heart started pumping out. I felt like it's the usual, maybe because I've not had exercise for a few days. And then I continued, and then I realized at the point, like, I wanted to pass out, like something wanted to just pop out of my chest. I stopped. I didn't know what was happening, so I started walked a bit, and then decided to just run again. And then I realized I couldn't do it. I had to just turn back and went home. And I told my husband this is what happened. My husband was even laughing at me like, Olenye, like, it's because you've not exercised for some days. And I'm like, no, something is happening. I said, okay, tomorrow I'll resume. The following day I tried to do it. My body was so tired. A few days after, my husband had to join me on the exercise. And the moment we stepped out the moment I started running, my heart was like, it was coming out again. I told my husband, I was like, no, there's something wrong. So we had to turn back and went home. So we just like, okay, maybe I needed to rest more, because raising kids, guys, how are you even coping? Mothers in diaspora, like, how are you coping without help? It's not been easy. The Lord is our strength. Raising kids as a mom, as a young mom, in Nigeria, you would have gotten help, maybe family members who are even around, but here in South Africa, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere outside Nigeria, kudos to all mothers. Please, we are trying, So we thought it was actually stress from raising, same kids of same age, the same time like that, and maybe the stress was really telling on me. So my husband just said I might need to rest for a while and then resume later. But being me that I've gotten to that weight I want to maintain, I was so eager to want to go back to exercise that I didn't want anything to just affect my weight loss, and I didn't want to gain weight. So I was eager rather to go back to exercising, but I couldn't. For days, for weeks, somehow I realized something was happening each time I tried to exercise, and I started having cramps unnecessarily in my tummy. So at the point I had to go to an hospital, a private hospital, to explain to the doctor, this is what I'm feeling, and I had a test done. So during that test, I had pap smear, I had all manner of tests just to be sure everything is fine. It was during that test that the doctor realized I had ovarian cysts. And she just showed me on the screen. I was like, what's this? There's so much. Like, I was just seeing those dots like that. I'm like, what's this? And she just explained what it was to me. I felt so bad, and she was like, how many kids do you have? I said, I have 3 kids. And she's like, wow, 3 kids already? And I said, yes, sir. Because with the amount of this cyst that she's seen, there is no way I could have been able to have kids. I asked what could have caused it. She said a lot of things contributes to having a ovarian cyst and all that. So I asked her for the solution. She said she was going to give me some pills, and we just have to just watch it for some time, see how it goes, to know if it's going to require surgery or not. So she gave me medication and I started taking it. But at a point my tummy started getting bigger, so much that the rumors started flying up and down, like, hey, is she pregnant again? At this stage, this lady doesn't have sense. She doesn't have this. I hear all of those talks. Like, it gets to me, saying maybe she's pregnant again. Like, of all things, pregnancy again. And it's something I actually don't want to experience for real, because I know that it's expensive raising kids here, and it's expensive having kids here in South Africa, especially as a foreigner. Fast forward to several months, I was living with the ovarian cyst. There are days I would have crisis, like my tummy would hurt so bad. I would cry, go back to the hospital, the doctor will still give me medication, I'll take it and then I'll get better. A lot of things happened. a lot of things, but my tummy was becoming bigger, so much that it was now becoming difficult for me to explain to people that I wasn't pregnant. Then at the point I felt like, okay, I think it's that time we need to switch hospital, because I was using a private hospital and it was consuming so much from us, and where's the money? So I decided to switch hospital to see another specialist, a gynecologist. So I went to a gynecologist and to have another test done, and she had the test done, and she also confirmed that I have ovarian cyst and that the fluid was too much and they will have to extract it to now test it to know if it's cancerous or not. You know, all those, and having to play the role of a wife, of a mother, of a maid, and all that at the same time. It was a lot on me. Like I said, when my husband is not home, I think a lot. I cry. I feel, I like, so many times I regret, like, why did I even choose to stay in South Africa, even though South Africa was not our initial place to want to stay. But you know, when I became pregnant a few months after the wedding, we had to just stay and feel like, okay, a few months after we'll move. But so many things happened and I had to delay our relocation. So I started thinking, I started worrying. When he's not home, I cry. Didn't know all those things were contributing a lot of negative effects to my health. And then one day, few months after my tummy started getting bigger and people were asking questions, are you pregnant? Then suddenly I started having a lot of weight again from nowhere. And then I felt like maybe because I'm not exercising. Then a few months after again, I started losing a lot of weight, but my tummy was still very big. Then it got my husband disturbed so much that he felt like, no, this thing, there's more to this. This thing is beyond just ovarian cyst, because the gynecologist said we should just be patient, that it will go over time. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to wait for this thing to just go. It's becoming embarrassing for me. Anytime I go out, people just treat you like you're pregnant. And how do I keep explaining to them that this is ovarian cyst? So I went to see another gynecologist on a particular day. And when I went for the test, thank God I went for that test, for that appointment that year. And that was the ending of towards the end of 2019. And when I went to see the doctor, when she checked me and she did the first test, and then she said she was going to send me for an MRI or CT scan, one of those tests. So she just directed me to where I was going to go and get the test done, and then I should wait and make sure I get the result and bring it back to her. That she was going to hang around so that she can see what is happening, that my tummy can just keep getting bigger due to ovarian cysts like that. As I stepped away from her to go to where she told me to go and have the test, that was the last thing I remembered. I passed out. By the time I woke up, I was surrounded by doctors, not one doctor, like doctors. And I saw blood all over me. They were looking for veins. They were looking for veins to extract blood and go and quickly get a test done. At that moment, they were already contemplating on shaving a part of my hair just to be able to extract blood. And I started asking a question, what was wrong? And they said, no, I should just calm down, that it's fine, it's going to be fine. And they started asking me a question, what's your name? Are you married? Are you this? And I started answering them. So they said, why did I come to the hospital in the first place? I told them why. And the doctor was like, how can an ovarian cyst just lead to all this? So they started all manner of tests they could. From there, I passed out again. So the second passing out was when they realized, okay, something is happening that is beyond ovarian cyst and they need to tackle it. So they had to reach out to my husband via my phone to let him know, because at that moment it was already late. My husband was trying to reach me, but my phone was on silent. Because the time I go to see a doctor, I put it on silent. So he couldn't reach me and there was nobody who was going to call. It was getting late already. So when they were able to get through to my husband, so he had to look for somebody to keep the kids with, because here, you can't just wake up and just go and put your kids somewhere or just get a babysitter that you've not planned for ahead of time. By the time my husband got to the hospital, I was already in the ambulance and they were about to take me to another hospital, transfer me to another hospital. I was on drip, I was on so many, equipment like that. All I just knew was, I was just, in my heart, I was just worshiping God, like, okay, I don't know if this is the end, but God, you're just going to have your way. My husband was so worried, he was with me, but his mind too was still also with the kids, just to be sure they're fine. That's the first time they will ever be staying with anybody. So the ambulance took us from the hospital to another hospital, and then when we got to the hospital, guys, on a normal day, the doctor that was by the corridor was supposed to have gone home. He wasn't supposed to be on duty. He was supposed to have gone home. But guess what, guys? He waited for no reason. And it dawned on me later that it wasn't the doctor that actually waited, because it was the one that God used for me. Obviously, that was God in the corner of that hospital waiting for me so that he could attend to my case. As at that moment, my case was so intense. He just told my husband to go and do this, go and do that by the reception, get some files and all that. So, just to open some files so that they can document whatever it is they want to do. I was on the bed. At the time, they had to now get me on the wheelchair and then wheeled me into the ward that they had to put me on, and they had to put me on the bed. So from there, they started all manner of tests. I went through CT scan, I went through every test, went through the machine and all that, and that was when they realized that I had heart failure. Now, what caused heart failure? Nobody knows. But I remembered I had IBP when I had the twins during the surgery, and prior to the delivery of the twins, doctors complained that I was having IBP and I needed bed rest. But I didn't listen. Plus ovarian cyst. Everything. Plus the situation of things that we were going through back then, and everything just seemed slow. I went to start my business then, and everything was just not the way I wanted it to be. And when he's not home, I cry. I cry. So much that I had, it leads to headache. I would just complain about migraine. You wouldn't even know what causes migraine. I would just take medication, and once I'm relieved, that's it. So many things. And then later, it was said to be hyperthyroidism. And they said they were going to take out a part of the thyroid. But they can't do it because the heart failure is not going to allow them to do that. So now, when I see those comments on the page, and some even have the effrontery to even DM me and say, you are on ARV and you're not telling people the truth. And I'm like, do people have to attribute every ailment to HIV? And even if you have HIV, that shouldn't be the end of the world. But saying to people's face that this is what they have when they know that is not their problem at that moment can be hurting. In a nutshell, I had heart failure, and it also involves hyperthyroidism. I don't know. I don't know why people on social media don't read. You see a post, you don't read caption, you just jump into conclusion, you just jump into commenting how it just comes from your mouth. People saying it's ARV, HIV. The truth is, that was the same time I actually knew what ARV is. I didn't know until one person just commented. I wanted to respond to the person. I even responded. But later I felt like it's a waste of time. When I Googled it and I saw it, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not using it to talk down on people who are HIV patients. God, I know there is a God that can heal. I know. But please stop attributing every ailment to HIV. And stop making it look like, okay, everybody is HIV patient and all that. Now you know that what I had back then was heart failure and hyperthyroidism. Up to now, I still manage my health. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. I manage it with my doctor's guide, medication. I'm still on medication. I still have my doctor's appointments that I don't miss. There are still things that I can do. There are things that I cannot do because I know what I'm managing at the moment. You will notice that sometimes in some of my videos, there are times I run out of breath. Yes, it's as a result of what I'm managing that I wasn't talking about before. But you know, when that video went the way it went, and I had a lot of questions in my DM. In fact, the DMs I attended to was just so much. So much. And to everyone asking what I used to gain weight, I really need to be honest with you guys. There was really nothing special. I would just say it's just the grace of God that has been helping me. I eat the normal way I'm supposed to eat, but there are some things I can't eat. I watch my diet a lot. There are times I lose weight a little. There are times I add weight a little. So if you see me on days that I look like I'm chubby, understand what is going on. And days when you see that, okay, I've dropped a little, understand what is going on. And please, guys, see, I think it's another thing to just also know that body shaming is very, very wrong, because you don't know what some people are going through when you say this person is too fat, this person is too this. Please stop. Some people want to lose weight, but what they are going through personally, you don't know. And that could even have a lot of effect on why they are not losing the weight they so much desire to lose. And also, people are asking me for recommendations for medications. I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor, and I'm sorry I can't recommend a particular medication for you. Please see a doctor. Keep trusting God. Yes, it is God that has helped me so far. Like I said, the doctor that attended to my case that day when I got to that hospital, the doctor at that corridor that day was God waiting for me. And it's just because I trusted God. Proud to, even when the whole thing started, I didn't even know. That was the same doctor that took my case till I left the hospital, and up till date is still attending to me, and God is still using him for me. So please, guys, when anything is wrong with you, please don't take every sign like it's just an headache, it's just a tummy ache, it's just this, it's just that, or feel like I'm tired of seeing doctors. Don't be tired of seeing doctors, and don't be tired of trusting God for a miracle. I'm still trusting God to heal me permanently. Like, I know my healing is made permanent in Christ Jesus. Please, see a doctor, see other doctors' opinion as well, and make sure you keep trusting God for a miracle. There's nothing God cannot do. If you look at me now, you can hardly tell that I have a heart issue or that I have hyperthyroidism, but God has a reason for everything that happens in life. So I hope I have answered all the questions in my DMs and the one on the comment sections as well. And to some of you who are asking if I'm married and saying you want to love somebody's wife, I am married. I am married, and I'm blessed with 3 beautiful kids. And please, I'm not going to leave my husband for you. It's not possible, because when it happened, this man stood there and is still standing there. Please, and stop sending me those cucumbers you're sending in my DMs. What do you want me to do with it? Maybe I should even start sending all those things to bloggers so that they can help you just market it the more. They can help you publicize it so that the world can see it. Because I don't know what you guys want me to do with those things you're sending to my DM, for crying out loud. On a lighter mood, guys, that is just all I can say for now about all that happened and what I experienced. A lot of lessons I learned back then. A lot of friends who showed me who they are truly, and a lot of people you don't even know will even be there, but the ones who are there. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. I hope to drop another video before the end of the year, but if I can't, I hope you understand why your lady has been so inconsistent sometimes. I'm trying my best. That's not an excuse though. I'm trying my best, but I hope to bring you guys more content, hopefully before the end of the year. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. God bless you. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please, please. I so much need it. Till I see you in my next video. God bless you guys. Bye.